Nashville Sound celebrated a big win for their first game at the new First Tennessee Park. Nashville Mayor Carl Dean threw out the first pitch last night. We saw construction crews still pouring concrete on Wednesday. And not long ago, the ballpark seemed far from being complete, but around-the-clock work pulled off history last night. We caught up with one man who has a special connection with Sulphur Dell, where his uncle played and grandfather umpired. He still remembers going to the last game before Sulphur Dell closed back in 1969, and he's happy to be back nearly 50 years later.
We still love baseball here in Nashville, and this is such a wonderful place, and it's just like something I've been waiting for since the day Sulphur Dell closed.
The Sounds beat the Colorado Springs Sky Sox 3-2. There's home games every day next week, and if you do come out for a game, remember parking is tough. Plan ahead and expect to walk a little bit. We've posted a list of parking options on newschannel5.com. And it wasn't completely smooth sailing leading up to the opening pitch at the ballpark. Last month, the city announced the project had gone over budget, and not by just a few $1,000s. The ballpark is costing Metro $10 million more than originally expected, bringing the total cost to $47 million. We're told icy weather and rising construction costs were to blame. And another snag that threatened the delay of the first pitch was the discovery of an ancient Native American settlement at the stadium site. Archaeologists found fire pits and pottery that date back more than 800 years. The site was dubbed Salt Town because the inhabitants used fire pits to boil water at a sulfur spring to extract salt. And if you're looking for extra dining options in the area, check out Nashville's Farmers Market. Starting last night, the Market House restaurants and shops will be open every Friday and Saturday night from 5 to 8 p.m. They'll also have 10 local food trucks in the North Shed.
The community has really been growing around us. We've been hearing from customers and people that live in our neighborhoods for a long time that they're really looking for diverse and affordable, laid-back, casual dining options here at night. So it was really driven by our Market House restaurants and shops saying, you know, we've been open a long time for lunch. It's time for us to make that next step into dinner.
Silo Restaurant in Germantown will host a barbecue, blues, and baseball block party. The first one gets underway this coming Monday, and a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Freedom Farm Animal Sanctuary. In other news, 2 men on the loose for a drive-by shooting have been caught and are behind bars this morning. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres is live at the Criminal Justice Center. Matthew, it turns out that the gunmen were father and son?
Andrea, that's right. Believe it or not, that is the case this morning. They are certainly putting a whole new meaning to the saying like father, like son. 43-year-old Freddie Creek and his 21-year-old son Shane Creek are accused of firing shots at a car with 4 people inside, sending one of them to the hospital. Now, you may remember us reporting this on News Channel 5 this morning about 2 weeks ago. It happened on a late Monday night just outside the Walmart on Dickerson Pike, again in Madison. The victims told police that the 2 men pulled up next to their car. Creepy enough, but it takes a violent turn when the men started shooting at them before speeding off. At least 3 bullets hit them, one of which grazed one of the victim's neck. In fact, he had to go to the hospital driving himself for non-life-threatening injuries. And at this point, we still don't know the motive behind this shooting. But again, both men are in jail this morning, facing 3 counts of reckless endangerment and 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They are expected to appear in court this Tuesday. We are reporting live at the Criminal Justice Center this morning. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD.
Matthew, thank you. A local teenager is in custody for sending threats to schools in 4 different states and now faces terrorism charges because of it.
We continue to monitor everything that we can. We continue to react or investigate every tip that we receive. And it's our hope that, as we continue to do our job and do our work, that more and more young people understand that you can't get away with this. And at some point, you're going to have to pay the price.
The suspect was arrested Thursday in South Nashville. Investigators say about 16 threats were emailed or called into schools in Nashville, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. They say the last threat forced Antioch High School to dismiss early on Thursday morning. The messages said a bomb was on campus and said there would be a Columbine or Sandy Hook style shooting. Police do not believe, though, that the teen had any means to carry out those threats. However, one elementary school dealt with a very real threat yesterday when an off-duty police officer shot a suspect at the Crystal Elementary School parking lot. The school was immediately put on lockdown. Robertson County officials tell us off-duty Springfield police officer Brian Harrison spotted a driver who may have been drunk. They both pulled over in front of the school and a county deputy was called for backup. At some point, we're told the driver pulled out a knife and the deputy deployed his taser. When that didn't work, authorities say Harrison fired one shot and hit the suspect.
We tell police officers like anyone else that if your life is endangered, somebody is aggressively trying to kill you with a knife, you have to defend yourself. You have to do what's necessary to stop that person.
Harrison is on routine administrative leave while the TBI investigates. Meanwhile, a teenager is in custody for having a gun on the campus of Centennial High School in Franklin. He's not a student there, but was found wandering the halls. When school administrators stopped and questioned him, he told them he had a weapon in his car, an unloaded rifle along with spent shotgun shells and clay targets. He's being held on multiple charges.